Manchester City go second in the Premier League table, 4 points of Arsenal for now. But there's a lot of questions that need answering. A lot of questions that need answering. A lot of questions which Pep Guardiola needs to ask his players. Because that second half performance was catastrophic. For a team that has aspirations, for a team that has the goal, the intentions. One, to make up for last season, but two, to go back to where they truly belong, top of the league, cement that dominance, stop Arsenal from winning the league. You can't be having performances like that against Leeds, a team fighting relegation. Like, I was watching that first half, and when I saw Manchester City go 2-0, Phil Foden scoring the fastest goal this season in Premier League, I'm thinking, yeah, typical Manchester City. It's probably going to end 3, it's probably going to end 4. Erling Haaland is probably going to grab himself a hat-trick. If somebody told me, Haj, second half, Manchester City will be fighting for their lives, Haj, Manchester City will surrender a 2-0 lead once again. How many times have we seen Manchester City surrender a lead over the past 12 to 18 months? If somebody told me this game would be 2-2, and Manchester City would need a goal out of nothing from Phil Foden once again stepping up, but we'll speak about him later, I'd be like, nah, you're joking. You must be joking. There's so much to ask. There's genuinely so much to ask. Like, there's just a few things I really want to speak about. As of late, I've seen a different side to Manchester City where they've been playing more of this direct game. And I feel like this discourse is always in and around Erling Haaland, where you look at Erling Haaland, in my opinion, he is the best transitional player on planet Earth. But so many times when I watch Manchester City, I'm like, you guys don't utilize his physicality. You really, really, really don't. Like, he is one player. Opposition goalkeepers, opposition centre halves, opposition fullbacks, opposition midfielders don't want to see running at them. He's like a full pelt train. Got the running power. He's got the physicality. He's got the ability to maneuver in and around the players. He's got the ability to put the ball into the back of the net with a variety of different finishes with both feet. But so many times I look at Manchester City where it's like they take too many touches of the ball. They keep passing the ball from left to right, recycling. I completely understand. It's Pep Guardiola's philosophy. But sometimes it takes so much away from Erling Haaland, a player that can truly terrorize players. Like, just think back. For example, there's a goal that he scored a few years ago against Brighton. Edison into Haaland. Ragdolls Adam Webster puts it into the back of the net. The goal that he scored against Brentford earlier on in the season. You need to utilize that, okay? But then when I was looking at Manchester City today, it's like, I really want to speak about their mentality because I mentioned it earlier. How many times this season or in the past 12 to 18, 24 months have you seen Manchester City surrender a 2-0 lead, surrender a 3-0 lead? And I'll be real, the Manchester City that I'm accustomed to watching under Pep Guardiola, if they go 2-0 up, you know this game is either ending 2-0 with like 80% possession or it's ending 4-5-6-0. Thank you very much for the 3 points. But I feel like recently, a lot of individual mistakes, a lot of defensive mistakes. I'm looking at these players and I'm looking at their mentality and I'm saying, do you guys want it? Like, do you guys truly want it? Do you guys want to put yourself in a title race? Or are you guys just more than happy to smooth sail throughout the season, pick up the odd 3 point here and there, perform on the odd game here and there? Like Manchester City, like the Manchester City team that won 4 Premier Leagues in a row, you knew you were getting consistency, whether it's from the starters, whether it's from the players off the bench. I feel like some players in the starting 11 are beginning to get a little bit too complacent, where they know Pep is not about to rotate. Like, for example, I think Khusanov, yeah, for example, when he was signed last season, the kid, he looked like the Premier League came a bit too early, a bit too fast for him. Like, he didn't adapt. He was thrown into the mix, especially during a very bad period of the season for Manchester City. He was thrown into the mix. He struggled. But I'll be honest with you guys. Khusanov, when this season, when he started off the season playing as a right back, then he was playing as a centre back. This kid grew in the role, and now I'm looking at it and thinking, somebody like Pep, who's always been labelled as Pep Roulette, where you never know who's starting and who's dropping to the bench. I'm looking at that kid and I'm thinking, like, come on, surely he should be getting some minutes defensively. He brings a bit more steel, but on top of everything, he brings a bit more hunger because he's eager to impress. He's eager to prove himself to Pep. Yet this kid started at the start of the season, then he was phased out, doesn't really play anymore. Vardial, I think he's an amazing player. Like, I genuinely think he's an amazing prospect. He genuinely has world-class potential, especially when you bear in mind what he can offer you in the final third when he inverts into midfield. But Vardial makes a lot of mistakes. Like, so many times he's in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it's like he doesn't have the anticipation to sniff danger and put it out. And when he does try to put it out, he gives away a penalty. I'm not petitioning for somebody like Vardial to be dropped to the bench because I feel like his potential on its day is truly amazing. But I'm looking at it and thinking, Pep, what message are you now sending to the players? Where some players, they have lapses in concentration week in, week out. They cost you goals. Sometimes they cost you games, but you keep playing them. Like, for me, Is it fair to ask the question, is Pep Guardiola as ruthless as he once was? And the perfect example I could always give is I remember when Riyad Mahrez was at Manchester City, and Riyad Mahrez would start the odd game, give you a hat trick, or maybe get you 1 goal and 2 assists. The week later, everybody thinks Riyad Mahrez is starting once again. He gets dropped to the bench. And Pep used to always come out and say, listen, I'm not benching him because he's not a good player or because he doesn't deserve to start, but I'm trying to keep that fire in some of these players' bellies where I'm trying to let them know, listen, you can score me a hat trick. You better go out and give me 4 goals next week, 5 goals next week. Nobody has got a secure spot in my starting 11. So you better prove yourself every single game. And that's why when you see Manchester City, like the dominance, the way they monopolize the league, it's because whether the players were starting or the players were coming off the bench, every single one of them had a point to prove. I'm looking at some of these players and I'm thinking, some of you guys look comfortable. Like Bernardo Silva, I genuinely feel like the time has come to phase him out of the project. It's looking very likely that he is on his way out in the summer. But I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, like, can you not try and integrate like somebody like Marmoush? Because I think Marmoush was amazing last season when he was signed in January. He brought goals. He also brought that element where the opposition knew we don't just have to worry about Erling Haaland because he's the main goal scorer of this team. No, we need to worry about Haaland. We need to worry about Marmoush. We need to worry about somebody like Phil Foden, Ryan Cherki. I understand when Cherki comes off the bench, he tends to be a bit more impactful. Like when you look at today, the ability to receive the ball and then find Phil Foden in the opposition box, and Phil Foden scores the game-winning goal. But I'm looking at it and thinking, Pep, you need to roll the dice on some of these players. You need to roll the dice. And when I say roll the dice, I don't mean just 1-2 games. No, you have to roll with the punches. You have to give them 4, 5, 6, 7 games in a row. Let them see if they can grow and adapt in this role because these are truly some talented players. Like when I saw Marmoush come on the 88th minute, I was thinking, wow. Like Marmoush, let's be real, he showed last season he can get you a goal out of nothing. He can create you a goal scoring opportunity out of nothing. Yes, sometimes he takes too long on the ball, but let's be real, every single player has their strengths and has their weaknesses. And I look at the squad, like I genuinely look at this Manchester City squad, and I'm like, it is talented. Yes, fair enough, it is missing Rodri. I feel like Rodri brings so much defensive security. I feel like Rodri, as much as people might say he's the best in the world in terms of ball progression, he's the best in the world at leading the team, rallying the troops. But I think Rodri, for me, is one of the best in the world at defending transitions, where he has the anticipation. He's in the right place at the right time. He's so good at those tactical fouls, which can aid Manchester City, and they aided them throughout their few years of dominance in the Premier League. He is a big miss. But I'll be real, guys. Like I'm always looking at that Manchester City bench, and I'm thinking, surely some players are worthy of more minutes. Some players are worthy of rolling the dice. But it is a mentality thing because first half, they were amazing. Like, genuinely, first half, they were amazing. They could have scored 3, 4, 5 goals. Everybody's thinking they're going to kick on in the second half. Leeds are going to try and throw bodies forward. Manchester City will catch them on the counter. But no, it's like any bit of pressure that was a little bit applied to Manchester City, they crumbled. Very, very, very fragile. And I'll be real, guys. For a team that wants to compete for a title, for a team where, let's be real, this isn't even the business end of the season. Like, crunch time hasn't come yet. If you're crumbling to pressure from Leeds, then I don't know what's going to happen once we reach January, February, March, where the games are coming quick and fast, and some of them are must-win games. Some of them are games after 2, 3 days of rest, having played in the Champions League, and you have to step up. No excuses. Like, guys, there was a serious possibility that Manchester City would have dropped points today, having surrendering a 2-0 lead to Leeds. But once again, Phil Foden steps up. I feel like he's definitely one player that Pep has trusted this season, especially when you bear in mind, like, he had a poor season last year. He's now trusted. He's now delivering the goods. But I'm looking at it and thinking, you've got so many star players. Haaland and Phil Foden being your main out-and-out goal scorers is not enough. Cherki can chip in with goals. Marmoush can chip in with goals. But you just need to find a way to integrate them into the team. But let's see what the next game has in hold. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on another one.